gone. He's gone.
So we want to start with procurement. I'll dive right into it. With you guys taking some time to be here helping us out and all that. What's up?
Nothing. I was gonna say, why don't we start with Hannah? Hers is pretty simple and
Hannah, go
straightforward.
ahead. Sure.
Yeah.
Hannah's been here all day.
There you go. Yeah. Sounds good.
I just want to be here to answer any questions you guys have or your discussion that you guys are going to be going into.
And this is on the rental
Reference to what?
down there.
Oh, the rental. Yeah, I mean, I have my piece on it, you know, how I feel. And it's just, the heating of the building, obviously with December and January being so cold and going into February, the bills are higher for sure. And
Right.
the budget is the budget, and we'll make sure that obviously we'll pay those bills. But I don't know. For me, I think the heat is on no matter what, and a lot of these programs are being run by approved program directors, whether it's Mighty Loons, Little League, when the school's in there. I know people can do a better job of, carry in, carry out, and leaving it how it is and all that. But when it comes to charging nonprofits, like Little League for, I don't know, they'll probably be in there maybe 10 times. Let me pull my recreation thing out. They're going to be in there until the snow breaks. Everybody's going to go on spring break the first 2 weeks of April, so they'll probably be in there a little bit before March comes to an end, and then they're going to be outside. So I just thought like setting up the whole system to charge them to be in there. Mighty Loons aren't paying now because they were agreed upon before, but they're going to be paying next year. And I don't know. I think it's hard enough to volunteer. I think it's hard enough to find money for things. I think our youth is our future, and I don't want to die. I know you guys probably all feel the same way. I don't know how I feel about charging them per day to be in there. It's mostly directed at the heat cost, and the heat is going to be on regardless.
Well, there are more costs that go into that, Hannah, though striping of the floors and the cleaning.
Oh, yeah, there's
and
gonna be
also
just maintenance all the time in that.
Electric. I personally think for this year, we ride it out and revisit this and come up with a new plan that's equitable for everybody. That's to change things mid-things could cause problems for a lot of programs and a lot of backlash.
And the money's gonna have to come from somewhere.
And the money
so
does have to come from somewhere to
better
keep
off
that
charging
building
them a little
moving.
bit than-
I honestly think we should have a rental structure like we did for Macaulay, where everyone has to pay regardless. Macaulay does have the non-profit charge, but it's nowhere near what other organizations may pay
Right.
or not pay. If we're not going to charge anybody, then we should just shut the heat off then and turn the lights off on that building.
Yeah.
That's my feeling on it. We
It's
can't keep taking it from the town budget, keep asking taxpayers to keep paying on a building that is not, it's being used more. We have to compensate for that. We can't keep asking the taxpayers to constantly pick up that tab.
And my response to that is the building, the heat is on, there's lights in there, the place is getting cleaned anyhow. Like, it's not like there's a massive payroll like Macaulay or massive bills like Macaulay has to run chairlifts and stuff like that with employees and whatnot.
Oh, no, I understand that completely. I'm just saying for the like a rental structure, it would help offset all those costs.
Not put the burden fully on the taxpayers. You're better off having one organization maybe a little mad at you than the whole tax basis.
Right, especially when it comes to replacement of stuff and maintenance and things.
Yeah. I'll tell you what, from
It's a tough one,
free.
but
the thought of if nobody's gonna pay, we'll just shut it down. Turn the heat off, turn the electric off, shut it down. I mean, just speaking from someone who went to high school here 1999 on and has been around the area, that place is pretty special, what it's been doing the last couple of years. And just, it's hard for people, for kids to be here if you don't ski or if you don't snowmobile, to have a place to get to, and especially at night and stuff like that. It really is become a
They can't
huge asset
They
for
can't
kids.
just go and use it on their own.
No, nobody's, yeah.
Yeah.
And
I don't know
I,
where you're trying to get.
and I'm not saying no one's not gonna pay, so shut everything off. I'm just saying if we don't do our due diligence and start charging
We won't have
for the
a
use of that building, we won't have the building. In my mind, if that makes any sense.
Yes, 100%, because that building is gonna, the floor is beautiful in there, but I'm gonna tell you right now, it's not gonna last much longer. We're gonna be replacing that soon. The walls are getting banged up, the sheet rock's getting banged up, bathrooms get beat up. There's a lot of maintenance in that
Normal
building.
ma-
I'm in there a lot, I
Wear and
see
tear.
it. And if we think that we're just gonna keep budgeting money for that, it's a monster budget. It's gone from what we used to spend to what we do now. It's
Yeah, of course.
a huge difference.
I would just ask the question, you know, the taxpayers, whether they're like still working on, pay, you know, a couple more bucks together or have the place not be available. That's all. That's the question. That's why we're up here. That's why this.
Well, what we take in for that probably doesn't even come close to what the building is using. I will
Of
say
course.
that out loud because
Should be considered like a park, you know? That's how I look at it. Again, I totally understand the fiscal part of it and finances and the build. I mean, I see the bills, so I get it. So yeah, we'll just,
I guess it'd be
I
nice
just
to know.
I think
we
Judy's right.
We
Let's write it out.
revisit for,
Yeah.
yeah, right, we're gonna keep talking
Sure.
about it and come up with a new plan for the building, for the
Budget
new
time,
budget.
Bill, you'll
Want
have
me to
a,
put together the national grid and.
That would be helpful if we knew what everything was.
for budget time this year.
Maybe could you even go back a couple years, we get an average or something, Kel, does that make
I
sense?
can go back to
And come up with something that's equitable for everybody so that people do keep using it, but it doesn't break them, but it also doesn't, you know, puts a little bit towards our maintenance and stuff.
Yep.
I think that's a fair way to do it.
Okay,
Okay.
sounds good. Let it roll and
Keep talking though.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, keep talking.
figure out some options. What's going on with the floor over there, Mike? I was just in there.
It's just getting beat up. I mean, I was just over there today and you see some of the tiles are starting to pop up and if you push them down, they don't stay down.
Just needs to be addressed. We can figure it
Yeah,
out.
I don't know,
It gets a
Hannah,
lot
you've
of
got more to
use.
say about that. I don't see it lasting forever, for sure.
Yeah, we swap out.
The good news is it
tiles
was
throughout the year.
free, you know, there wasn't a match.
Oh, yeah, and it's
Oh, no,
beautiful.
no, it's
It's a
great.
great addition, believe me, I think it's wonderful. Just don't see it lasting forever, so somewhere we're gonna have to say, oh boy, we need to do something.
I think we need
Start a
like
plan.
Judy, Mike and I kinda talked about a 5-year plan, 10-year plan, like what's the mission down there now that we have to establish this department? Just kinda know like where should I be aiming towards? And tell me about that.
Right.
That's-
And is there
Our next
something we can do
meeting.
about that, having the heat on that hot?
I mean,
Is
the
there
ends, the
something we can
ends
do
can be
about that
turned
ice
down.
coming off of there? I mean, there's things
know.
that we do have to talk about.
For sure, and I'm, just like I said, I mean, for the last 25 years, it was closed down besides Snowdeo, Snowfest, Pink Ribbon Riders, so we can certainly go back to that, I just think that's gonna be.
Oh, no one
No,
wants
I don't wanna
that.
go
Zero
there.
wants that. Nobody wants that.
Dive in.
Find something that's equitable. Yeah,
I mean,
What
there
are we
are people
charging-
that wanna
what
put
are we
ice
charging
back
for
in
use
there.
now? $50,
75.
75.
Yeah.
50 is the school.
Yeah.
50
Yeah.
school, 75 per day, and then loons will be 75 next year. Yeah, I mean, it's I get it, it's a fair rate, you know. Well, sounds good, I think Judy's spot on, we'll look into it again after
Yeah,
whenever.
I think we have to, yeah,
I'm glad to hear the goal is to keep it, you know, available.
Oh, God,
absolutely.
yeah.
And I'm gonna sneak out unless anyone has.
You have
more
anything else,
questions.
Hannah?
No.
No? Okay.
Enjoy your night,
Bye,
Hannah.
everyone.
Thank you very much
Thanks,
for all you
Hannah.
do, Hannah. Okay, how about Kyle, or
I'm
we're
good.
good now? Okay. Do you guys have any, we've got that procurement policy that is, hopefully gonna be a lot of help in updating and protecting and qualifying and all sorts of aspects for us as we look to, you know, follow the right procedures and qualify for some grant funding and whatnot. We got that big Northern Borders Regional Commission grant that once we start, hopefully diving into that and being able to get some of those funds for that, we're gonna have to, have some documentation in place. So, that procurement policy, had a lot of help with that, Julie and Mike, I really, thank you guys so much for doing all that, and for giving us something to work off of. I don't know if you guys have any questions, or this is in regards to the 1993 update that was, I think, amended in 2010, and with some white out and some writing on it. It just doesn't really address like federal and state
Doesn't address federal and state
funding.
law.
Yeah, you've got you want to give a little,
On the procurement policy?
yeah, like
Might as well get us started.
of how important it
It's
is. And,
possible, you have 30 years of catching up to do.
That's it?
30 years. And during the Biden administration, we had 6 or 7 updates alone. So especially to the federal CFR 200.3 section for federal grants. Now, a lot of your grants are state grants, but what wasn't realized is they were federal pass-throughs, state pass-through grants. So you're held to the federal standard of procurement. And that leads to the other issues. So you're going to have to update this policy, your procurement policy, if you want grants. Also, you follow the state and federal procurement and relatively what's in 72 pages. It also protects you and protects the taxpayers from mishandling of taxpayer funds.
So I kind of had a question for you then.
Sure.
We have a procurement policy and it needs to be updated.
Yeah.
But is there kind of a separate, how do I want to say it? What you're talking about is all about the grant stuff. That's not, all of the procurement policy is what it
That
pertains
one's an
to.
integration of local policy, federal and state. So the local policy part you can adopt to your organization as you see fit. However, any time that state and federal funding are involved, you have no choice. That's what it is. You need to have written documentation that at the end of every grant, you're audited on every grant. They will ask you for a copy of this. And if you can't produce it, you won't get your last check. Believe me, you won't.
Well, I guess to simplify my question is it kind of like two separate things?
It can be. You can separate it. The original worksheet I made for the board too, that I gave to Tom for you to start, working through it.
that's the 72 page one.
No, that 72 page is when you
Yeah.
said, just write it. The first one that I put together was more like a worksheet for you. And a couple of people looked at it and went, what are you talking about? So that's why I just wrote the final one. But no, I mean, for your local policy, what you have is not best practices by any means. You can update it, you can do a lot of different things, but yes, when it comes to state and federal grants, there are no leeway.
Right.
It is what it
I
is.
got you. Just questions because
That's okay.
just,
And as I understand it
Didn't read
too,
it.
it's like, as I understand it too, it's up to us, our office here and making sure the department heads know, what pertains to them and keeping them in a loop and, it's like anything, like the employee handbook and, that we all get is, how long is that? 60, 70 pages, something like that?
There's a new one of those coming out, right? Yeah.
Yes.
so I guess another quick question.
So like all that is all in there for protection, it's there, and what everybody does with it may be up to them, but it's up to us to like make sure that we're following the procurement, the parts that pertain to whatever issue it is, and then the department heads, it's the same amounts and stuff carry over for the most part, like for any goods and services, over 20 grand, we've got to go out to a competitive bid for any under 20 grand. We've got to have 3 written quotes. For public works stuff, it's $35,000 and over is competitive bid. For under is 3 quotes.
Okay.
Those are the major parts, and then just understanding what each one of those is. There's things in there about the emergency
Emergency purchase.
situations.
Emergency purchases pertain to anything Department of Health could be coming in on you, DEC, you were telling me about.
Which we just had. I'm sure Scott probably talked to his committee heads there on the well house down there in North Street. So that was a situation like that where that had to get done, and we'll document it. Like in that bill comes in, we'll make sure we've got something attached to why there wasn't, proper quotes attached to that.
Emergency purchases to, I'm sorry, Tom.
Go ahead.
Emergency purchases to pertain to disasters. If we ever had an ice storm like they had at Lake Placid, Whiteface, what, 98, 97? What year were you in school? If we ever had this here, that's the only way you can apply for federal relief. So if it becomes a declared disaster by New York State or the federal government, the only way you're going to get any sort of help financially, it's a reimbursement. You use the emergency purchase system that's in the procurement policy. And
That
then
has to
apply.
be, and yeah, we have,
Oh, yeah,
we have to have
that's
that
part of
updated
emergency,
procurement.
yes.
And I will say, too, what Julie's talking about, I don't know if I mentioned this, but that Carly Reitmeyer from down in the Mohawk Valley, who's Hopkins representative, she messages all the time, like before we had our snow emergency there with the cold and all that, she suggested that we document all of that and all that's happened and gone on, so we can qualify for funding thereafter, if they were to help
I
us
send out to all my clients a list, anytime we see a disaster coming, whether, it's my guys down in the Gulf with hurricanes or here with anytime the WKTV goes crazy with a huge snowstorm. I send out everybody from my department heads, this is what we need to document, these are what I needed pictures, this is what I need. 9 times out of 10, it turns out to be nothing. But if we don't do it in the moment, and that's the key to the documentation and the emergency portion of the procurement policy, is do it in the minute. You almost have to timestamp and date, sign, everything, pictures. Everyone's got a cell phone in their hand. Just start clapping pictures. So that's part of it.
Another part of that too is like, while we're waiting to get to work on our sewer here, something happens with that, like, is that fall into that too? We
That
may
would be
not.
under an emergency, but you already have a grant on that, so you would contact the federal government, or in that case, well, in this case, it'd be EFC. You'd
If
contact
we
them.
needed more relief, we would
Well,
have to
that's
have
what I'm
our stuff in
saying.
place, right?
You would actually call the granting agency in that case, so it's the Environmental Facilities Court. You would call them and say, I got a disaster, I got an emergency. Sometimes you can get more funding. They have time. So, but if you don't document it in the minute and you don't have pictures and it's not time stamped, and I'm not kidding you, 1:33 in the afternoon and 42 seconds, I am standing on North Street with A, B, C, D, E, F, G, click pictures of everybody standing there. It's the easiest way to do it.
Gotta be prepared for this stuff,
But if you don't have it in a policy, at the end, when they say, and you're gonna run into this with New York State Parks and Rec, they're going to say, where's your policy?
Yeah, that's the other part of this is what we have ongoing, with going out for bid for the rest of the Macaulay Mountain bike grants and stuff like that. And to
So
finish that
how
phase
long does it
four,
take to change and do this?
Well, your lawyer indicated that it's a local law. I've never heard of that. So it'll be up to your lawyer as to how you want to proceed at that point. I've never heard of it. We've always used procurement as policy adjustments. So that's up to you guys.
Yeah, he kind of mentioned that in here, the same thing, like it's a large document. And it's up to us to oversee it, regulate it, and however you want to do that, like creating a cheat sheet like we spoke to before. But as far as the policy update, we just have to look at, like, is it a law, or is it just a simple, like we just did the short-term rental thing, we just.
Yeah, it's
You know how we did that
That was-
last week?
It's a policy. I've never in 25 years had it be a law. It's always, especially.
Policy we have to follow.
It's a policy you have to follow, but so I don't understand that where at some point the town of Webb adopted a procurement policy in the law. Maybe that's something they did, I have no idea, I've never heard of
He
it.
could have spoken in the email, maybe, he might have just.
Yeah,
I think we need to, ask him some more questions on that too. To me, this is just, it's huge. And thank you for doing this. There's a lot of repetitive in here, like,
That's on purpose,
okay, so what's the purpose of repetitiveness?
because the department heads can open up the table of contents and not skip around. When they go to where the system, the section, the article that applies to them, there's no discussion. Instead of saying, oh, I missed Article 1, I didn't read that because I went to Article 7.
Okay,
No,
Then they
it's,
don't have to read the whole 72-page document.
yeah, this is like like an audit.
It is,
And I would say
and that's
it
what's
is,
going to happen
okay.
is you will be
'Cause-
audited on these.
So is there a way to, if, say, we don't make any corrections to this, but we do, like, we're not even there yet, everybody has their timeframes to do stuff, but can we make this an audit to the procurement policy so that the procurement policy is a few pages and then people can use this to go back at? That was something.
Generally not accepted by the federal government. You have 30 years to catch up on.
As a person who's not an expert on it at all,
Right.
and I
Should
look,
be
No,
right
that's
now.
why we're asking
Can I get
questions.
overwhelmed
No, we're
by-
asking
Should be
questions.
by now, Ron.
right, no, I'm just saying, I get
Right.
overwhelmed by all that too. But like, if you look, Appendix A, there's a threshold reference chart,
Oh,
it's one
Yeah.
page.
Yep, I saw
And
that.
like, that's kind of the thing that you mostly are looking at. And a lot of the other stuff is to make sure there's not collusion and all the other
Well,
kinds
and
of
that's a
things
big
that the
part.
federal government looks at, but nobody has to think about
Threshold reference.
every time when they're looking to do a purchase.
And what about the RFP, those protocols, because New York State says that you don't have them, but the federal law, do they want you to have them? Is that what
New York
it's
State
saying?
said what?
What they say, for services, like on here it says you'll have the mandatory professional services
Mandatory professional
Right.
services
to go
is-
up. So is this for federal
That would
or?
probably be federal, I'm not
Because-
looking at it, but.
Okay, because I know
it's-
New York State says that you don't need them, but then you guys have it in here as a
9 times out
mandatory.
of 10, depending on the grant program, you do need them.
These are just questions, that's what I'm
Yeah,
asking.
New York's,
No.
I don't, honestly, we always do best practices to the Fed because New York State is gonna answer to the Fed. And it's not covered under GML law.
Okay.
And this is just to protect us and help us and all
It
that. We're not
protects the
putting it in
taxpayer.
place right now, you know, we'll, everybody can have ample time to take a look at it. It's just, but we've got active grants. And, you know, we've got one with, you know, some things we have to address. And another one with, some services for the sewer that things, you know, we just gotta get them in order.
Yeah,
That's
no.
really all that it is, you know.
I'm certainly not against it,
It's
that's
just,
for
this is
sure.
more or less like,
Julie, can we email you if we have more questions? Do you care?
Sure, no, it's okay.
Okay, all right, cool. I just, yeah. Did you have anything? Not right now?
All right, no.
Okay. More to come, more to go through.
It's a pain. Still reading
Yeah,
through it.
It's
It's
not-
just a giant pain.
yeah, that's all. We're trying to get with the times, we're trying to be a more, you know, have our ducks in a row here and just,
More efficient.
yeah, that's all. Easier stuff to follow,
Thank
a little
you.
more black and white, transparent, all that stuff. Yeah, if you guys haven't done it, I mean, thanks so much for being there from an advance, you know, all this stuff. It's been a lot of help. You guys don't have any more questions on that?
No.
Figured out.
I don't think so as of
Yeah,
tonight, right
again,
now.
you got plenty of time to.
I'm still reading through it.
Cool.
Quite long.
Some of it's
I'll
not
see
gonna
last
mean
night reading through it.
anything to me anyways, but.
Okay.
Oh, we are a town board that oversees the town, so.
Right, I
Right.
know,
Gotta-
we gotta have it
Gotta
right.
get it.
A lot of it is just the nomenclature and the jargon that they put in state law and federal law, it's repetitive.
I guess sometimes I'm simple-minded, I guess. I looked at the policy more of separating what the town needed and then to all this grant stuff.
You
I
can.
looked at it at two, same document, but two separate
The-
parts.
The issue with that, with some of my bigger cities, they do have a separation, but they also have procurement departments. You know, they have 5 or 6
Yeah,
people
yeah.
working on this, on purchasing and procurement every day. So, you know, what is best practices state? Best practices state, you follow the facts, because ultimately, that's where 90% of the money is coming from. So, you know, for local money, yes, it's taxpayers, local taxpayers, you can make some adjustments to that. But
Oh, that's a good question, Mike.
So then, you know, obviously, a good grant writer would know all these things, and they would say, oh, it is in your
I
policy,
have
so we're
to
good.
administrate the, yeah. Yep. So most of my clients, before we even begin, the first thing we do is basically the employee handbook that's very important too, and procurement policy.
Yeah, because don't these all have to kind of align with each other?
They have to align and they have to be submitted.
Right.
To close out a grant and to get your final check, you are looking at 20 to 25 hours of just emails, putting all of these through into the federal system. So before we even start, I mean, even small, $300,000-$400,000 grants, before we even start, this is the first thing I do with all of my clients. Procurement, handbook, make sure all the employees know where they stand when it comes to federal funds, how to behave with federal funds. So yes, this is step one, especially for the bigger grants.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you.
Appreciate
Just
it.
for the
Yeah,
record,
thanks for that
Julie,
headache.
Julie and Mike are doing this on their own time and they're just trying to
Yeah, no,
help us
appreciate
get the
that.
program.
That's a lot
Yeah,
to.
thank you guys enough.
Appreciate that.
Yeah, we're taxpayers.
Yeah,
We'd love to see it done.
yeah.
Yeah, that's a good point too. Thank you.
And to get grants so you don't have to pay for some of the things.
Yeah, there has been 15 years I've held my tongue for things that should have gone after. And I do it with other communities right here in the Adirondacks. And Webb didn't. So I get a lot of crap. Why don't you do that for Webb? And I work with Webb. So now that's why we're trying to help.
Yeah, we've got a real good opportunity to get, get it going and see what we can qualify and acquire and then move on stuff, I'm excited about that. We gotta follow stuff like this.
Okay,
Okay.
that's good.
That, to go right into that Macaulay Mountain Phase 4 bike trail RFP is ready to go in front of Brian to, go out to bid on that. So hopefully we can get that done for
By Tuesday.
I hope so, yeah.
Perfect.
That's the prime example of what's going on with procurement and following it and whatnot.
All right.
Yeah, we definitely need to have a little bit more advice on that.
Yeah, yep. So again, Julie helped with that too, after taking, the old RFP originally from years ago. That didn't go out to bid, and we had contractors become employees and conflicts of interest and stuff, just stuff that we weren't aware of. And I was on the board too, and so that was the other thing with the grant administrator and the state reaching out to us and saying, in order to unlock the rest of the 85K that we have, we essentially got to go out to bid for the Phase 4. So that's what.
Go to bed.
Well, I think I can speak for what was going on is we just figured we were saving money.
Saving money.
We're trying to get the most out of the grant that we could.
Right.
Thought we were doing it right.
Problem is that there's so many requirements,
Yeah.
prevailing wage and the separation of employees and contractors,
Yeah.
that type
Should
of
the
thing.
grant writers have known some of that or not
I don't know who
necessarily?
the grant writer was.
I don't.
Living 80K, Robin Hill and Dan Kieferbach were
Okay.
administrators from our end that worked with our office here. There's a bunch of emails and basically to summarize, we didn't go out to bid for it, and then we hired the contractors. Prevailing wages weren't a part of that. And then
That's why they became
when we rented the
employees.
equipment from the employee because it was specific to the job. That was the huge red flag in November of 2023. And then when that red flag went up, we actually, in the emails, advised him to make an LLC. He made the LLC. This goes back again, this is quite a, 2023 was the first one there. Made the LLC, and then we still paid him for his equipment use. And that's the most recent email that we got from the state and federal funders there in December. And then just called them up and cleared it up. They're super nice, they're super great to work with. I'm really thankful that they're letting us do things the right way so we can finish the job up
Continue,
there with that.
yeah.
Yeah, it's gonna be all right, Kurt was in here, Ben sat down with me there for that with Chuck. And Robin was great with getting us information and yeah, we gotta start using that state contract reporter and kind of getting more stuff out there than just the Express, which is important too.
No, we have to get out of the Express.
Yeah.
I agree with
You can
that.
still use
nice
the,
to-
you can still
Express.
use the Express so you don't, ostracize the
Right.
local community or local contractors, but the state contract reporter obviously goes out throughout the whole state. And it's a much easier system. I believe it's free I'm on the other end.
We got registered
I have to
today.
pay,
Yeah.
so,
Yeah, we got
I think it's
registered.
free on your end. And it is the best way to hit that circulation. There's no circulation requirements, but it gets you the circulation of any company in the state. I get an email every morning from the state contract reporter telling me what's in my category that I can bid on. It's great. You get absolute, you never know what quirky person like Geneseo or from Buffalo, who might have some new radical idea. Who knows?
Yeah, so that'll hopefully, Brian I'll get that out to him tomorrow. I just wanted to make sure with you guys. And then Chuck got back to us today and said, because we kind of took the combination of the two and made it
into one.
the stronger RFP with all the same stuff that we're talking about with procurement. So, especially with this one, and we really want to show the, Sunshine Jenkins is her name. She's out there with the
I remember. Yeah.
Parks Rec and Historic Preservation. That we're doing it the right way and get her done. So we'll take care of that and I don't know. Do you guys have anything? I had a couple more things if anybody.
I don't think so.
I talked to
Tuesday
Kevin
night.
Sunday. He wants to. One of his full-time employees was a paramedic EMT, and he would like him to get recertified as an EMT, so that there's someone up there all the time with skiing and also the bike trails. So
Yeah.
he's looking at.
And Kelly might know, but correct me if I'm wrong, EMT courses are about 900 to 1,000
It
or
depends
something
what
like
level
that.
you're at.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
And it depends on how long if he doesn't have a card anymore.
I don't believe so.
Just
But
picked
he
up a
would.
pilot program.
He
Right.
would redo it if.
I think it's a great idea if we can make it happen for them to have someone up there
Yeah.
on site.
And especially because it's a hard time sometimes having a patroller all the time in the winter during the week.
Week time.
And there's plenty of them on the weekends.
And now that came up, I forgot where I had a conversation with Kevin about the snowmobile up there too. That I thought we were kind of on the same page with that, but I can't remember what it was. I'm sorry, forgive me for that.
I think the
It's-
one that they're
Like if they're
trying to do one through the ski
Patrol.
ski patrol,
yeah.
and then ski patrol they raise the funds, they get it. And I did talk to, we have a lot of Kevins. I talked to
Yeah.
Kevin Townsend, our insurance. They would have to donate it back to the town. We would have to insure it, but then Kevin would have to write up a thing that it's contractually for the use of ski patrol and for emergencies
Okay.
on the mountain.
That's what it
So
was.
that it doesn't get used as a drag or as a something else up there.
'Cause they
That
didn't
it is
have the,
specified for that. Yes.
The entity, the ski patrol, does not exist. So that's why if it's going to be insured, it has to be under
It
something.
It has to be
exists,
under-
right.
They do have an entity.
Well, it's a national ski
It's a-
patrol, so
yeah.
they have insurance for them, but not for something like that. And it would be on our property, on our community's property, so we'd want it insured by us.
So we'll see when they follow up because they're throwing a
Yeah.
fundraiser and all that. Sounds great.
And it would be used by our employees if, there was a ski patrol on,
You can't insure something you
They
don't
can-
own, so.
it can be used.
Yep. All right, good stuff there.
Chief's here.
Hi, chief.
Got to, Kelly's here too. She's looked a lot into the budget. And, we just kind of might be, decision time on the search and rescue dog. Not right now, but maybe for Tuesday as well to see, there's no budget burden at this point this year. But the vehicle is our cost, as everything, I guess, is documented as being paid for. We all saw that, talked about that
Yeah, the dog's paid for from the donation, the training's free, normal veterinary care is taken care of, and Purina donates the food. So the cost for the town would be the vehicle,
the big cost.
Right,
Yeah.
Of course it's
It
gonna
is.
cost.
But not this year.
Yeah, we gotta, through, I don't think, if we purchase a vehicle, once we take delivery of the vehicle, the first payment wouldn't be for a year from that date. So it's 5 lump sum payments, so we order the vehicle tomorrow, it's about a 12-week turnaround before we pick it up. So, let's say June, we pick it up, and so June of '27, the first payment would be due. We're still actively, EBI should say, still actively fundraising for that. So
how's that going? Are you getting
They're moving.
trickles?
Trickles, keep on pushing them to keep moving.
Okay,
You know, we've done one fundraising event that turned out pretty good. We plan on doing more.
And there was some grants in that.
There's a, DISH's, Department of Homeland Security Emergency Services grant. It's a $60,000 grant for starting, the nitrates, canine program. And potentially there's a $15,000 grant every year after that, as long as you keep the program in effect, so. Majority of the vehicle could be completely paid for with the grant money. The grant doesn't specify, well, it specifies it needs to be used for the canine program, but, could be used for salary, for the canine handler, and equipment. So it's a pretty wide open grant.
Be nice. And it's like $20,765 over the course of 5 years. And then another great part of this, you know, with the assembly and everything, the events we have up here and the search and rescue we have is that it 2028, we might not need a police vehicle until 2028, according to the chief. I'm trying to hold him to that.
Chief's gonna keep driving his, you said,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, we can stretch our vehicles out.
Okay,
We can stretch them out. They're young, they're new, you know, as long as we maintain them. And, you know, I've been putting, this year's the first year I put the film underneath one to keep the salt and corrosion from penetrating.
There we
so,
go.
just here, yeah.
What do you got?
No, just, I'm wondering, the vehicle, every time we get a vehicle, chief, all of a sudden that cost of putting all the new equipment in it and the lights and the decals and all that was like, oh, another 10 grand or
Stickers,
whatever.
the vinyl,
Is this
vinyl,
part of the
vinyl.
deal here?
That's all included. That price is.
Oh, that's
price
good.
is-
Okay, that was the
One-stop shop
discussion.
We went to, companies that build a police vehicle from the ground up and don't have to bounce around to different
Yeah.
places to get a radio here and stickers there and a cage there. This is a place that does everything from the ground up. You guarantee everything, warranty everything. So, and, you know, I'm for safety and lighting, but we don't need Christmas trees out there. I mean, dark roads.
They still making the Chevy Caprices? How do we get a couple of those for?
No. No.
All right.
So, and I
Just
didn't,
got shut down. So yeah, this
so
is the
they're, what are
payment.
they honoring for the interest rate a year from now? Is that in there?
Yeah, there is an interest rate in there.
It's interesting.
I got a
was
random
low,
question
wasn't it?
too.
It was
Go ahead,
fairly
Judy.
low.
I remember,
Yeah,
cause you talked about this at our last meeting too,
It's fairly
right?
low. I don't wanna say a number, but I know it's
Yeah,
lower than the majority of new car loans.
Yeah.
and also Adirondack Bank just got sold.
Right.
That's not gonna have because they're the ones doing the
Right.
just wanna, I mean, maybe just look into that,
We can look into that.
you know? They might have some
Also,
policy
you know,
they're not.
We can always go to community bank too to see if they would do the same offer. Most banks, it seems like
Yeah.
it's the common practice for most.
They wanna
banks.
support.
Right.
We just wanna get a yes or no because the school starts April 15th. There's one spot available. We wanna get the dog. The dog is sitting in Rochester right now. It's waiting to get picked up.
We've got to, I've looked into this, we've gotta get an actual, like, authorized vote on this, so we'll wait till Tuesday and we'll just,
Yeah, cause
No.
the sooner we get the dog with the handler, get them two acquainted and used to working with each other. And since the dog will be going to the handler's home, we want the family to get acquainted and actually for us over at the station, the dog will come in and get used to us. So it's, once it goes to training, it's familiar with all of us, familiar with the handler. And
Perfect.
But we just wanna get that sooner than later, since the school starts April 15th.
I don't know, I think you guys are the same way, just getting a decision made, is that whether we're for it or against it, we can get that done, yeah.
We can get that done.
Yeah, go ahead, Julie.
How long would you keep the vehicle? Is this a 20-year vehicle? I'm just asking, hold on.
Wait a minute, if you can find one of
Not up
those,
here.
will you let me know?
My dad was chief
If we could get 10 out of it, that'd be great.
But apparently not like that. Have you talked to the community foundation?
No,
Herkimer Night account,
Yeah.
yeah,
okay.
They have money for, well,
Yeah.
I'm not gonna say that on camera.
Yeah.
The, community foundation, and there's a couple other local, police benevolent foundations.
There are also some open grant rounds coming from the community foundation that would be applicable. The Adirondack League Club has a fund that they grant locally from. They're not generally big money grants, but they do like a project that improves health and safety.
And that's usually around June.
Yeah, that's June.
It's summer, it's
Yeah.
summer.
Okay.
I think it's a little later, but that maybe it's June. And then there is also a grant round. Is that Herkimer County grant round? There's another grant, there are two applicable grant rounds coming up in this calendar year, along with Mohawk Valley Gives, which the town, I know has explored opening funds at the community foundation, at two community foundations. I don't think that's been done yet, but should that be done, if there was a fund designated to whatever the town felt its best use would be.
This is like relative to the sewer fund
In the
that we can sell
fall,
it to, guys.
Mohawk Valley Gives is a broad regional with all of the different nonprofits participating, and that tends to be a decent opportunity. Low effort for the organization,
Yeah,
with a very solid. You can do a lot to help your fundraising
yeah, and the donations would go directly.
directly to whatever
The police
fund.
department, yeah, whatever line item they set up
Mhm.
for you for this project.
And that's
I got-
Mohawk Valley Gives.
But the sewer fund, maybe, I don't know,
Yeah,
that comes
community
to,
foundation.
that comes to priority of the town, but that is.
I'll reach back out to Nick again. I haven't talked to him since just a recap of going to do an introduction with them, which we came to, so. I'll get back and see where that's at.
And you can't do DASNY because it's not 20-year, my mistake. But Crest out of Assembly, call, sound like Smollen.
Smallin,
If Smollen can't, then call Walzak.
Mhm.
See if he can do a Crest. Usually it goes to the Assembly, but the Senates can do it as well. And we're getting about 150, 160,000 per municipality for that one. And the police department would absolutely qualify for that, but that's an appropriations, not a grant. So you would have to reach out on that, send them a letter, tell them you need 90,
yeah,
then take the money you've already raised and get another cop.
yeah, we can keep it ongoing, funding it. I think it sounds like we all support the whole, the whole idea.
Yeah, especially with what's
Absolutely.
going on in the world.
Yeah,
Like,
too much.
how come when we had one and then, the dog, Trevor's dog had to be put down, why did we not keep one in service, do you remember?
No, I think I'd have to think back on,
Just curious.
I feel like it went away before the dog passed.
Yeah, they retired the dog. Dogs get retired at a certain age.
So I don't,
I believe it was the car.
that's the one that,
kind of touching on it.
pretty
I-
sure
I-
it was too.
I don't wanna say much because I don't know the exact answer for that, but
I came before
the car, the
board
dog.
with a dog and a
I
car.
remember, yeah.
And
The
I
cost
believe the last one died when the car died.
right, there was a, what are we gonna do? We're gonna do it again or not kind of question. And of course, there wasn't
Sure.
a free dog and free food and all that at the time either, so
Yeah,
There
free
was the
training.
time
I don't remember, right?
just saying.
I vet bills, it seemed like we signed a bunch of bills for that, but whatever, it's a past.
I'm just curious.
Right.
So we will, get a decision here on Tuesday. It sounds, I think we've got to obviously authorize that and have a vote.
Okay.
Same with that, the MVHS, they're just following up, they were here. Just Sherry is her name, she's the VP over there, she met with Jay and John and Bill at the health center, I joined them. And they just went over the wall and the fire alarm for the back room where the ultrasound's
For
gonna
the
go.
ultrasound.
And they've been reaching out about the check, Living 80K isn't on it, they're spending 10 and we signed up for 10 at last meeting. So when they wanna know when the check is available because they're gonna drive right up and, I think Julie's gonna try and be here Tuesday, Julie, Perlansky, to grab the check and drop off the contract. So
Tuesday,
that's the big part
okay.
that I keep, we just wanna make sure that something's in writing, that the machine's gonna stay and
So should you
Webb.
have done a voucher for it? And it's best to.
Yeah, I was gonna say, what do we have to do to do that?
On that?
we can,
Yeah.
To get,
I don't have anything to really go off of yet with it, you know what I mean? That's why
Right.
the
No, no,
contract
I
is,
remember that. I was
we're
against
kinda
that.
waiting for a little bit on them, okay.
the emails,
Check ready and
I think
then.
we're all against, that's what they prefer.
Yeah.
The
Kind
emails,
of against the 10.
the email is so recent, it's like as of like yesterday and I don't want these just writing a check is
But
hard to say.
And then just hold it until you.
Well, it's hard
You
to
know,
say no.
gotta
but-
have
Contract.
that kind
Gotta have the paperwork,
You
right?
have to have the contract.
of course.
Right, right,
Yeah,
have the
yeah.
paperwork.
They could
Yes.
the check, they could.
Will.
I don't even show them the check.
What do we have to
Yeah.
do to know for that machine if it just leaves a
Yes.
month after?
So it's kinda on them, so we're just waiting
Yeah,
on them.
and it's one of those things where it's the same stuff that we're trying to do the right way, you know?
Right.
As much as they wanna get this done and get some in there, we,
Who's
You should
doing?
have got the contract quicker is all.
Right.
I know,
Paperwork,
I know.
the stuff everybody hates,
Paperwork. I know.
paperwork. Okay,
Are our guys doing the work in the building or?
Yes,
Yes.
Kyle, yep,
Yes.
they're very appreciative of your suggestion there.
all right, well, we'll wait on them, and we'll get their check. Okay,
Two snowmobile things, just popped in my head with those trailers over there. I think there was another video posted with the snowmobile trailers at North Street.
I think half of them, looks like about half of them are gone, still waiting,
I've been over there last couple days and
yeah.
Jeff went over and plowed in
That's
front of
great.
them and then,
I mean,
I know, I think there were 4 on the
Eric's
left
okay.
side before I got here tonight. There were still a
Eric's
few on the
okay.
They're
road.
slowly disappearing.
and he was shoveling them out and I said, go get the backhoe. So he did. And when I went over there today, Judy's right, probably half of what was there 2 days ago is gone now, so. And then I did talk to Jeff today and he said he would go up tomorrow and clean up where all the trailers were, cause the snow was there still. Trailers are gone, but the snow's there, so he's gonna push all that back, so. Hopefully, we're still gonna have a parking problem, but
I would really like to see us just look into before next season, just get coming over, just like they do for the stickers. If you wanna leave your trailer over there for months at a time, giving us a phone number, a name, an email, a license plate, so we can at least contact you in case of emergency.
And a little thing in your, somewhere
That's
on
it.
there, yeah.
Throw whatever on the trailer, like we know who's what's what, and I think there was one year, there was one there for, wasn't there one down there for like 18 months or something?
Mm-hmm,
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's one down there, and it's great, you know, the guys, the snowmobilers really, a lot of them, are really grateful for it from what I understand, but I don't think you should just be able, it's like we do carry in, carry out for a pair of shoes down at the rec center and
right.
equipment and stuff, but you can leave your trailer on town property for months at a time, and I think they'll be fine with stopping in to register their trailer for that kind of service for free.
I think there should be a little bit of charge on
I
it
think
for
there
the
should be a
plowing
little
and
charge there too,
everything on it to cover, and especially with
especially
the
where the
cost of
liability
North
falls.
Street.
Yeah,
It'd be nice
It would
to
help.
take in a little
Yep.
bit of revenue to
Would
help
help.
Right.
offset.
And yeah, if you're gonna go to all that extent, you're probably gonna wanna have a thing written up where they have to get it by a certain date. And we're not responsible for what happens to it. because
absolutely,
There's a lot of
Yeah,
things
what
that
happens
happen.
right now, that the trailer's just sitting down there.
it's our liability,
Yeah.
it's our liability, it's on our
You
property.
know, so I when I spoke with Jeff about that, actually Hannah was here and I didn't really feel anyone that and ran over to the publicity office just to throw it by them. Nothing right now. We got time, but I think we should be registering those trailers with, the same way we do the permits.
Yep.
Right.
And I think Chief is here. I don't think he would have a.
No, I had a problem with that last summer, or last year, when two or three snowmobile trailers were left there. And it's not hard to track down a phone number, but it's
Yeah.
also not, sometimes not the easiest, so.
Right.
And then we put a sign right there. Boom, please register. I know people don't read signs, right? But if you put one there, it tells them, please register at the, the Webb publicity office.
Yeah, and, well, leave the lower lot still for day trippers.
Yeah.
Okay.
Then you can contact them if you have issues like, no, hey, Snowfest this weekend, can you please, oh, I'm not gonna be there. Well, maybe we can figure something out to help them out to move it,
Well, we
maybe.
also have to remember, we're not just picking on the snowmobilers, because the boat trailers.
The boat
We
trailers.
should also do
The
it
same
for them
thing,
too.
we should do the same
Thank you for
thing.
bringing that up. I
Before
hadn't even thought
summer,
of
we
that.
really should do that before
That's a
summer.
I haven't even thought about that. We should do that. Yep,
Yeah,
cool. Yeah, so we'll
What
get
happens
some,
with those is, they get to be a storage place for the whole summer.
Heck
just
yeah.
Because people don't want them in their own
yeah.
yard.
right.
Yeah.
It's,
A small fee would never hurt anybody.
Yeah.
And then
Small fee.
the other part too of the snowmobile, we spoke to
So
the,
do we. I was like,
we spoke to the permit structure, cause Snowfest is next weekend.
yep,
We gotta re-sign the agreement for the 26, 27 year for inlet. So I just didn't know, we haven't done a price increase in years. I'm not trying to say we should do a price increase in the permits, but I do think we can make it a little easier on the office over there and put in that $100 permit with an $80 preseason, just like we had talked about. I think you were sick that night, Kyle, when we spoke to this, but.
I mean, I think we should have a special meeting with Inlet and their board, their tourism department, and our tourism department and ourselves, and discuss it before everything.
With the 80-100, that would be the 80 preseason 100.
Yeah, and then what it would do is, there are some pretty good stats here on who's upgrading, who's getting what, and the weekday pass. Weekday only is $60. So those guys that have been getting the weekday for years and years and years, they can pay $20 more and go whenever they want, and they can get that preseason. I was hopeful that we could extend the preseason to the day before the
snow day.
trails open, and then maybe we can talk to Inlet about if they want to sell them at Snowdio or something. Maybe they'd be happy to come down and help us out. But I think we should extend the preseason, and this is all discussion. Preseason before the trails open, so they got a little more of a window, and then that shows a little love to those weekday guys. It's just a $20. And then the other one is the 7-day permit. Those are being purchased, and obviously I don't want to accuse people of wrongdoing, but it seems there's quite a narrative that the 7-day purchases are a major part of the volume problem that we have on our trails that beat them down pretty good, and that's $55. So I think it's another one of those like spaghetti things that it would be nice to just clean up and have a little more organized. It's better for law enforcement. I was up with the town of Inlet board meeting last month, and they actually voted to support that and do that. I talked to their office, I talked to our office, and of course there's a care for the people that come up in the February break, for the week, and they want to, I want to make things as
It would affect the
accessible as we
families
can,
for
for sure.
Christmas or for, like Christmas week or President's week. It would affect the families. Because you're saying $20 a person, but if you got a family of 5, it multiplies 20 times 5.
And it's,
I get that, but there's no price increase, and we're gonna find out a lot more in our budget of how much we actually are, doing for the snowmobile community. And I understand that, the people that it's for, and does that overweigh the people that are abusing, the permit structure and are out there often on a 7-day permit or on the weekends on a weekday permit. And
Well, yeah, I mean,
I thought
I don't think we should get rid of the 7-day permit because the dates are put right on it. and Sharpie when you go and purchase it. It's good to then. You know, I don't think we should get rid of that. I mean, the weekday only one for the year, I can see that. But there's a lot of traffic of people coming in and out through here that would buy that 7-day over.
Those are a lot of people that are driving down 28. Those are a lot of people that don't really know our trail system. I mean, it
Well, it's getting a
speaks
little
volumes to the regular customer that if there's like a few years ago before these last two great winters where we got an awesome week of snowmobile in the forecast, and those people that have been waiting for snow that are longtime customers, now they get swarmed with hundreds of 7-day passers that come and just slam on the trails, and now the one or 2 weeks that they had an opportunity to go have been compromised. And that's just my thoughts on that. I think the community would actually appreciate it a little bit more than, they also run in and out of this. They come in and out of this office for the 7 days. It's pretty hectic for those. Those are the ones,
I don't disagree that it would simplify things, but I also don't want it to look like a negative that we don't appreciate them being. Some
Yeah,
people
we
only have a
already
week
have
of their
such a
life.
negative connotation out there, quite honestly.
A lot of people just have one vacation, 1 week. That's all they got, so, yeah, it's only $20 more, but. It's a
But 20
family,
times
it's
a family of 6 is pizza and wings one of the nights for them to feed. I kind of did it.
Yeah,
I
it's
did
kind
a
of a
I did a little
balancing.
couple times while I was out. Just talked to people. I didn't tell them who I was and trying to get a feel for it. And people really feel shunned by our community on this whole snowmobiling thing. That they're not welcome here. That they're looked as a lower class. I heard everything, and I hate that. And I think that we're coming out of already a huge permit issue 2 years ago, and why are we stirring the pot right now? I don't think it's worth stirring right now. I think we have to be more welcoming. I think we're pretty negative towards them. That's my feeling.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that was a big part of that inlet
Yeah.
Webb snowmobile agreement hassle there, and
Right.
I think we worked together to make sure we preserve that, and I've always got a lot of respect for snowmobilers. I don't think this is.
Yeah. No,
I think what I'm saying is directed towards
Right.
that. So
right.
it's just from a structure standpoint, organization. So yeah, that's fine. We can leave it as it is, and
It'd be better to sit down with,
Everybody
Well,
together.
Everyone.
that's another thing, probably, because
A
that's
special
what started a
meeting.
lot of that problem before.
well, if you guys
We
remember
didn't get
during
together.
the inlet Webb issues we had, remember the meetings weren't consistent enough, and
Right.
they didn't happen often enough. But again, sounds good to me. We can leave it as is. I think Inlet's gonna have to make a different resolution for it.
Well,
They don't have that. I think it's just like
supported the law.
Ben and Judy said, just getting everyone together in the same room and talking about it now
yeah,
and see what we can come up with.
certainly.
I mean, I totally agree. I think I was the one that said to you in the beginning, the snowmobile prices, it's been quite a while since the permit structure has changed. I'm not trying to rock any boats. What happened 2 years ago happened 2 years ago. It's not
Correct.
today.
Yeah.
I don't even want to bring that up anymore. No, I'm serious. I mean,
I know you're serious.
that was
Me too.
that was 2 years ago. We're 2 years removed. That's in the past. It's over with. But we do have to take a look, I think, especially with the cost of things rising on a daily basis, we do have to take a look at the fee structure and
Yeah.
maybe come up with a better solution. Maybe get rid of the weekdays, get rid of, something, get rid of the weekend and just do 7-day and season. But we need to figure something out. We need inlet here, and we need to we need to go to inlet and have a big group
meeting.
session. And
Well, I talked to you guys about this structure, and then I went. So it's not like this is just how I feel. This is
no, I
a couple
know.
months.
Thank you. You've kept, you've been really good about keeping us in the loop on that. I think everyone at both tables needs to
Be together.
be together and say yay, say nay, or
Sure.
come up with. Someone might have a different idea, and it might strike
Look, guys,
gold.
it's
and it
not
might
on the major priority list for me. I just
No, I know.
I'm looking into a lot of stuff. I that's you got a great outlook on that, Kyle. I really. What'd you have, Linda?
I'm just reminding you all that if all of you meet it's a public meeting.
Not if it's a
an
work-
announced public meeting.
Not if it's a work session.
Can be a work
Of
session.
Yeah, it can be.
Informal
In your
informational meeting can be a work session between two towns.
Yep.
It needs to be.
We can definitely put it out there in the paper. I'm not saying we're meeting tomorrow or we're meeting next week or we're going out for breakfast tomorrow morning.
Right.
Who's ever open. It's something that needs to be done.
Yeah, and I think a
Yes.
work session's like, if it's 48 hours or something like that, we have to look it up.
It just needs to be announced.
Right, yeah.
Just a reminder.
Yeah. Thank you.
I got a few things, John.
Go ahead.
I just wanted to give you an update on the two things, the tax collection. So I have made the town whole of $6,377,000 plus. I had 10 return checks so far. One apparently was my fault. Guy yelled at me.
That's all right. We can make
I
mistakes.
didn't know I could do that, but it was my fault.
Working hard.
And then on February 17th, I sent Herkimer County $4,200,000, and I'll get the other check in March. As far as the budget director goes, I've done a lot of webinars. I'm taking a live online class all day Wednesday and all day Thursday at the tax office. I have met with Scott Gaffney several times. He's given me a ton of information. Macaulay Mountain, we keep going back and forth, so. Tommy calls me all the time.
We went over that. I won't call you Wednesday and Thursday while you're doing your training. How's that?
It's good. I printed a ton of reports. I've made everything in the budget has a folder. See, I brought the police folder tonight. It's good. It's starting.
Can I ask a question? When will we start getting reports? I know you were learning, and I know we're all here just, but we're supposed to
still
monthly start
catching up,
getting
I think,
flash,
right?
yeah, cash flow and
We don't
budget
have one
versus,
yet.
okay.
Jenny is catching up.
Yes, just because we are legally responsible for the budget too.
Yeah.
So-
No, I get that.
Yeah, just wanna see
I don't
that.
have much
Yeah.
to give to you,
I know, we're catching up,
so we're getting there.
okay.
But it's happening.
Alright. So Kelly, there was a lot of talk about Macaulay, recently on how they wanted to do it. You've been talking to them about, I mean, the budget for Macaulay right now, in the last year or so, because of the chairlift and everything, has been a kind of
A nightmare.
a nightmare, right? So it's gonna be hard for Kevin to actually put together, I think, put together a budget
Correct.
to compare what they take in with, you know, it's,
He did ask, if we can add a line, for equipment repairs, cause everything right now comes out of miscellaneous. And he just wants to be able to keep track better.
right, okay.
So I told him, yes, you can add a line,
Yeah, that's cool.
so. So for 2027, he'll have one more line. It'll just be easier for him to see what repairs.
Correct, gotcha.
And just speaking to that, like the budget officer thing, this is a part of the reason why I really wanted to, make this happen and have somebody else do it. So like if I choose not to run this year or something, or there's a new supervisor or whatever, we're not changing the budget every so
Playing catch
often. There's and again, my expertise in budgeting is not, one of my strong ones, and who knows if the next person has those capabilities. So it just kind of protects, simplifying it, black and white, transparency. Once we get this thing all set up, we will get a lot more information over and to everybody as normal, and then hopefully it could just be smooth sailing as we change hands in the future, as we set up, as we have different boards and different supervisors and whatnot. If maybe the next supervisor's in accounting, yeah, and then wants to take the budget back for, have them go for it, or her, that's all. It kind of speaks to what we're doing. I think you're doing a great job. I've heard nothing but
Yeah,
good
it's
things.
working, the computer program on the cloud is working. That's where I've been printing a ton of reports so that I'm a paper person, not gonna lie. I do computer stuff, I can get through programming, I can figure stuff out, but I still need to mark it up, and so
I hear you there.
I've printed a lot of stuff.
Thanks for signing up for all that.
Thanks,
Kelly.
Thanks, Kelly.
Excited for budget time.
I am
Right?
actually.
That'll be nice. There'll be a lot of, I think there's some, we'll get it all
Yeah.
Kind of
Robert Moore, I've met with him a couple times.
simplify it, you know, that's kind of the plan, and make it easier to get, put the proper time into it, you know?
Right.
Good. Anybody else have anything? You guys have anything more, or?
Yeah, have you, spoke with Brian Goldberger on that contract
Goldberger in regards to,
with the PBA negotiations coming up?
he sent a new, agreement with the town yet, so. Haven't signed anything yet, I think I've got same old thing, you know, we've gotta look at that and authorize that payment and service and all that stuff, so.
When's
The
those
PBR negotiations are
Start soon,
coming,
right?
yeah.
Right.
Yeah, we should get him on.
Yeah.
Should get him on Tuesday.
What's that?
Should get him on for Tuesday.
For Tuesday.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think PBA negotiations necessarily have to have a lawyer involved, you know? I'm hopeful that like it won't really come.
We want,
But if we
we
need
want
one,
a
we
lawyer
have it.
involved.
We have the right one.
We need to have a lawyer involved.
Yeah.
We don't wanna go through the last time that we didn't have a lawyer involved.
No.
Yeah, I would suggest,
Yes.
and I would suggest 2 board members. You can have 2 board members in the negotiation.
Correct.
That's the way, at least the way it was explained to me many moons ago
Yes.
that.
I'll look into that, you know, I'd like to kind of take a look at what we have and see if we can, you know, we just did the PBA agreement, maybe, you know, maybe, it won't be so tense and intense, I guess, and we'll be on the same page and like have it overseen, I mean, but, yeah, I'll get back to you on that before Tuesday. If that was in your guys' mind, again, feel free to call, text, message, email, whatever you think, if there's something out there, you know. I mean, I try and do the damnedest I can to get you guys all the information of all the stuff we're working on all the time, and you know, I'm trying, and I hope just feel free to just, you know, address that or however you want, but I hope that the PBA negotiations don't go as they did last time, put it that way, and I think with some different, you know, a different mindset going into it may just make it a little easier to get it done and have it go that way, you know. What's that? You guys can say it. Yeah. What's up?
No.
I just think it's a good idea to have Brian. I
Yeah.
do. He knows what he's doing. He's been with us just so that we have this all.
If they go
Taken care
good,
of.
he's here one time.
Yep, that's it.
Yeah.
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 So
Sounds
Chief
good.
has access to him too.
I
You know,
also,
he sent me his agreement a couple weeks ago. I want to say it was like 2 weeks ago. So that was what was going on with.
Right.
So
I
take
saw
a
him
look
do
at it
work.
and
Okay.
see what's going on.
Well, yeah, cause when do those actually gonna, I don't know if there's anybody scheduled.
Jace is the PBA rep. So we met back in like, you know, I think it was like the later part of January. So.
And if there's any issues, it drags on and sometimes it doesn't get done on time and all that stuff, so it is, you know, try to stay on top of it.
Sure.
Ian, what was Ian was on the agenda for insurance? What was that? I don't think we talked about that yet.
It's not really an agenda, you know.
Well, whatever the little list that you sent us. Yeah.
Well, you asked me for
Right.
you guys asked for information. I mean, to
Right.
take up so much of everyone's day to discuss every single thing we
Right.
speak to. So this was you know, I got more stuff I'd like to talk about, but I don't want to keep anyone's time on here. So Ian had reached out, not me, wanted to meet with a supervisor,
Okay.
and I said we're, you know, in January it was a busy month, and we had a scheduled time, and I had to reschedule. So he came up here Friday. He was in here. And some people came and gone and chatted with him, and he kind of brought up some, you know, potential adjustments if we wanted to when it comes to the plan that we have and what it could save us. But I wanted to like put that information in front of you guys and let you guys make the decision, or you know,
For next year.
of course.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Cool.
So I do
What
remember
else?
something. I got
Go ahead.
one more thing. I remember I mentioned it to you.
Hammer down, let me have it.
So you do have quite a long list,
Yeah.
and you have a lot of things on your mind. Appreciate it. God bless you. But is it worthwhile to? At one time in life, we had a Monday meeting, a Tuesday meeting, and
We
then a
talked
Monday
about
meeting.
this, yeah.
I don't know how you guys feel about it. Maybe just once in a while, just so that we have scheduled that we can get together and not get so far behind on some of these issues.
Correct.
It's up to you guys. I mean, I'm a little more free than some, but
I'm good with that.
I can make it
So my
work.
first 2 years on the board, we had 2 Monday meetings
right.
and,
And
and a Tuesday meeting, and then 2 years ago, it was in the organizational meeting that we were only meeting one Monday and one
Right.
Tuesday. So we have not done that in 2 years. I am all for that.
Me too.
We
'cause
don't
then
have to
there
do it all the time, and I'm sure some people won't be able to do it all the time, but.
Right. Well, it's just nice to talk, to be able to be and talk instead of, yeah, and ask questions. I'm for it.
Yeah, so I think we'd have to put that on the,
Agenda.
I mentioned it Tuesday.
Okay.
Corey's working on that, 3 points that work towards, that Northern Borders grant to put a proposal in front of us for the 3 areas of concern that go hand in hand
Cool.
on what we've been awarded. I guess that I'm doing my homework on Beaver River and diving into it all. I've got, really going through this packet. It was pretty wild over. It's really neat. You know, you guys, this one was 180 pages, and then the Big Moose Track Conservation Easement was another 82. And I didn't even know I could read really, but yeah. So really, there's a direction there. There's an opening community. I mean, everybody's like listening and
Right.
yeah. So I don't want to dive into that right now with everyone. We can talk about that Tuesday. I'd really like
I
to
certainly want to stay on top of
see us
that.
explore some options. I've got a lot to say on it. We've got, a community that is going to be disconnected here if that barge service were to discontinue, and I'd just like to be proactive in what kind of options we have for those folks. Interesting fact: there's 23 neighborhoods that Tina has compiled through our assessor's office, and Beaver River is number 11 on the amount of parcels it has. It's 174. Old Forge and Thundera commercial is 193. So that just shows you how many people would be affected by the barge service shutting down. And if you go into boat access only, Big Moose has I think 20. Big Moose has 20 boat access only parcels. Beaver River would become 174 boat access only parcels. The barge service is not for long, and the whole reason I'm looking into this is for no other reason than I've kind of was elected to be the supervisor, and I'm trying to show the most care and supervise the town the best way I can. And it's an important issue for me. People have been really open and in discussion, and just like, yeah, what do you got? You know what I mean? Because there's nothing to really. There's
Well, you've come up with a couple other, I feel,
Yeah.
a couple other possible solutions that were not
pretty
spoke
wild.
of, that we researched in heavily for many moons, and then what you showed me there this afternoon, I'm like, that's
Yeah.
different than.
Judy was gonna come over, but she ran out of time a little bit. But anytime anybody wants to come and look at anything, I've actually got the files in order now too. So if anybody wants to come over and talk about anything or look at anything,
Thank
I can
you.
just grab them by the folder and sit down and make time for it, or we can continue to talk about it. And,
Right.
when we're all together, right?
It's an interesting option, but it's an option that the other options weren't even, as far as I'm concerned, they never were gonna happen.
And
As much as we tried, they
it's a
weren't
part of
gonna happen.
Webb. It's a part of Webb, and I will say that barge service has enabled and hidden what's coming. Is like the future of the hamlet.
All right.
There's when that thing ends. There's going to be a ton of vehicles parked at the Stillwater launch, which is already overflowing in the time of
That
year.
it is.
And then we have a revocable permit that goes over to Grassy Point for the DEC.
We do, yeah.
The people at Beaver River paid for upgrades to those docks years ago. So where are all these people gonna park their boats? How are they gonna get there?
And that certainly isn't year round.
So like that whole. I love talking about it. I'm so passionate about it. It's just like all the stuff we're doing, even when you're just getting stuff in order, you know. Just gonna keep doing the best I can. I'll keep giving you guys as much as I can, and we'll just figure out, you know, what we're on the same page for. And
There we go.
Alright. Okay.
Yeah, all right, sounds like a plan.
Sure, you don't want to talk about Beaver River some more?
Oh, I do. I do.
Is that anybody else have anything? Don, you got anything? This office has been great. Don has been so much help. I mean, holy cow, we're so lucky to have you carried over. That was a great move. Move from your position before and to help us, you know, fill Nancy's shoes. Totally. Very, very grateful for that. Winter's almost over. Meeting's over.
Sad
Get the
but
heck outta here.
true.
All right. Thank you, guys.
Thank you, thanks everyone for coming.